Ohm Youngmisuk joining us now. Ohm, thank you so much for that conversation. It was really fascinating and for making some time with us here. I know that, you know from doing these conversations, that sometimes the most interesting things happen as you're chatting before the camera comes on or chatting before the camera comes off. What did you learn additionally from what we just heard from talking to Paul George?
I think Paul is taking on more of a leadership role, or at least trying to. I don't think he wants to leave any stone unturned. Remember the first year they joined forces, they came in, there were a lot of expectations. Clippers were playing their best basketball, and then the pandemic hits. They go in the bubble, their chemistry is awful, they disintegrate in the bubble.
Yeah.
Second year, they make it to the second round. Kawhi tears his ACL. They still make it to the Western Conference Finals. Paul George plays some of his best basketball, but they're not complete. Last year, throw it out. Basically, Kawhi's out for the year. Paul George injures his elbow, and then, basically comes back, doesn't even get into the play-in game because he had COVID in that last game. So I think he wants to make sure that they don't leave any stone unturned. He organized two camps, basically, in the offseason for players in Santa Barbara and San Diego. He's trying to be more of a leader. He's also trying to mesh with Kawhi Leonard. It's been a long time since they played on the same floor together.
Yeah.
This team is stacked. And the thing is, it's going to come down to intangibles for this team, as it always does: health, chemistry, and leadership. I asked Ty Lue today at practice earlier this morning, you are the undisputed leader of this team, but do you need another voice in the locker room to help you? And who will that be? And he said, absolutely, he needs another voice. He said, I can't be the voice all the time. He mentioned John Wall immediately, and other vets like Marcus Morris Sr., but John Wall comes in with immediate respect. Was what Ty said. And I said, well, what about your two best players, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard? He said Kawhi is starting to grow a little bit and speak a little bit more.
Yeah.
And he saw that in Las Vegas because they got together at training camp in Vegas. They did stuff off the court. They went gambling, things like that. And then he mentioned Paul George's camps. But he mentioned John Wall because he's been a leader in the past. I think he's also, I've talked to John Wall about this. He's learned from his leadership in Washington, some of the things that didn't go right in Washington. And I think he comes in with immediate respect, especially from Kawhi and Paul George.
Yeah, and John Wall also comes in with a greater appreciation for the game and just life in general. I know a lot of people have been following his story and are rooting for him.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting when you think about the intangibles when it comes to leadership, because a lot of times, I feel like people expect your leaders of teams to be extreme vocal leaders.
Yeah.
And at times, some players that are the best are not that, right? Kawhi Leonard, he's going to be a silent assassin. You don't have to be someone outside of yourself to be a leader. Sometimes we just need you to show up and hold things down on both ends of the floor. John Wall, I think, is going to be one of those vets that can sort of hold things together in a way that a lot of guys are starting to now relate to him. I think the Paul George as like the perfect hybrid of the two, someone that has dealt with adversity, someone that has been on the floor a little bit last year. And you mentioned it, like from getting married to being 2 years old right now, you have like so many great pieces within this Clippers team that can work. And I know a lot of people talk about like the depth factor, they're super deep, but like they also have the personalities that make that not feel like it's contentious. Maybe the way you think of the Lakers and how will that depth work, or how will all those personalities. So I guess I ask you, they're choosing to pursue a championship because they have the talent and they know the time is right now. Do you think that top Kawhi and Paul George, them working together, will be the best path forward with the leadership?
Yeah, I mean, look, this is year 4 for them. I mean, Kawhi and PG came in with high expectations, and there's been a lot that's been out of their control, and they have not been able to reach that to get the Clippers to the NBA Finals. So they understand that, Paul has talked about this. His window is shrinking. His championship window is shrinking. That's why he said he was so focused this offseason, more focused than ever before. Kawhi Leonard, what he mentioned too, was Paul George understands this better than anybody else. When you have the game stolen from you, you find a different joy from it because of injuries. He says he can see that in Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi's excited to be back. Kawhi mentioned this the other night after we talked about his first preseason game. He said just talking to the guys on the floor, being back in the locker room with them, Kawhi feels all these things now. It's going to be a process. They're going to still ramp Kawhi up. They play 11 of their first 15 back-to-backs before February. Wow. I think they play something like almost 60 games or something like that in the first half. The back end is easy for them, but I think they are going to have to watch Kawhi's minutes and John Wall's minutes.
Well, and you have to expect that we're not necessarily going to see Kawhi Leonard in both halves of all back-to-backs this season, just based on how they've managed him in the past. But when I look at the Clippers roster, they have so much talent just up and down it. You can take a look at it on your screen there, and looking at this, seeing the starters, seeing the reserves.
Powell.
How is Ty Lue going to manage all of this?
Malika, I think we're going to see some pretty funky lineups as the season progresses.
Tell me more.
Ty Lue has probably spent the entire offseason conjuring up how many different alternate lineups he can use. He has talked about at some point getting 6'7" and 6'8" guys, all 5 of them on the floor, interchangeable, that they can switch at every position.
Love that.
Paul George has talked about if that works, maybe this is something that other teams will emulate, a 5 out. The other night, he used John Wall and Reggie Jackson in the backcourt together. I think you're going to see guys like Reggie Jackson get a ton of open looks because Paul George and Kawhi Leonard can draw so much, and Powell and also John Wall are going to put so much pressure at the rim.
It's wild. If you look at that same roster, how many were or historically have been 15-plus, 20-point per game scorers? And, you know, a lot of the questions are, okay, how will John Wall acclimate to this team? It's going to be interesting because I feel like he's necessary. You have Paul George that can bring it up. You have Kawhi Leonard that can bring it up. But should they at all times?
Yeah.
Having someone that can be active defensively. You know, I know he's coming back from injury into his first season back in, I think, about 2 years, right, John Wall? But still, historically, him being able to work in transition and make easy plays for them, I think that's the best case scenario. So, like, John probably likely will work per his body granting. And then you look at the pieces on the outside. I mean, the Clippers are real.
The Clippers are real. Not to mention, Ty Lue, right, is one of the most well-respected coaches, both by players, other coaches, fans around the NBA. If anyone should be tasked with leading this roster, it is him. And the Clippers, I mean, can we just all say we expect them to be at the top or near the top of the West?
Oh, yeah.
Season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.